All right, welcome to part 4 of our virtual Meet ASEA. I am so excited to be hosting tonight's call with 3 amazing human beings that are associated with ASEA. My name is Karen Riley, and I am the Vice President of North America for ASEA. I have been with this organization for 10 years, and they have been the absolute most fulfilling 10 years personally and professionally of my life. I am so excited to be on part 4 today. I want to just wrap a couple of things up as far as housekeeping actually before we get to the end of the call. So tonight, of course, Friday, April the 17th, we are talking about ASEA, the home-based business solution. But I want to make sure, if you hadn't already heard, that tomorrow at 11 a.m. Mountain Time, our founder, Tyler Norton, is going to be sharing for 2 hours the ASEA ethos. He is going to be concluding this incredible Meet ASEA Blitz Week with an amazing training about who we are. Ethos is the distinguishing spirit of a people or culture, and there's no one better than our founder to share that message with you tomorrow. So join us tomorrow at 11 a.m. Mountain Time for a couple of hours that absolutely can transform your life. So I wanted to make sure that we got that out there first thing. Wanted to also make sure that we shared with you that if you missed a Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday presentations by Tyler, Chuck, or Jerem, that those are now posted at the ASEA YouTube channel, as well as IamASEA.com under the calls and webinars section. They're also posted for those of you who are already associates. You can access those calls in your virtual office library. We have a brand new section in that library called the We Are ASEA campaign. That is the April and May campaign that brings you all of this incredible training, all of these incredible interviews, and it's all going to be posted there within 24 hours of the live recording. Now, for those of you on this call who might be getting text messages, yes, we have just blown up Zoom again tonight, and I cannot log in to do a live Facebook stream. So I will do my best to keep trying, but it's not looking great. But we will post this call on the North America ASEA Facebook page as soon as we conclude here tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and stop my screen share so you can see these incredible people that we have lined up for you today. You know, tonight is all about the new world that we are living in, the new challenges that we are all facing. We have all seen incredible unemployment rates skyrocket, unhistorical. It is absolutely incredible what is happening right now to our, not just our country, but the world. There are so many people in need of income, in need of immunity health. And I heard this on a call the other day. We are here to talk tonight about your income immunity instead of your health. And Maureen's smiling at that because she knows where that came from. I stole that from a call that she was actually on just a few nights ago. Tonight is all about the new opportunities that are being created because of these incredible challenges we are all facing. And I invited these 3 special people on this call with us tonight, all with very unique backgrounds, all with very credible experience. And I'm going to let them share a little bit about that experience, but let me tell you a little bit about who they are and why what their message is tonight is so very important. I'm going to start with my dear friend, Terry Latham. For those of you who are with ASEA, you'll recognize that we have ranks associated with our organization. Terry Latham is an Ambassador Triple Diamond Executive. He was the 2013 Top Emerging Leader. He was the 2014 Top Leadership Development Executive, and he was the 2018 Business Builder of the Year. He's a member of our Diamond Life Club. He's a member of the $1 Million Club. He's a member of our Advisory Council. He lives in Dripping Springs with his wife and their 3 children. Terry, thanks so much for being on the call tonight. I'm going to turn it over to you in just a minute. I want to also introduce our other guest speaker tonight. We've got Ed Weens, Ambassador Diamond Executive. He is married to the beautiful Rebecca. Rebecca and I, of course, share birthdays, so we are soul sisters. Ed and Rebecca are also Diamond Life members with ASEA, and they are also members of the $1 Million Club. And then we have the absolutely dynamic, dear friend, my sister, Dr. Maureen Hayes. Dr. Hayes is a double diamond executive with ASEA. She is a member of the ASEA Medical Professional Board. She is double board certified by the American Board of Anesthesiology in both general anesthesiology and pain management. And she's credentialed in age management medicine through AMMEF. So I wanted to share just a little bit about their backgrounds, and now I'm going to invite them to say hello. Thank you so much, you guys, for being here. It's so great to see you.
Great to be here, Karen. I can tell you right now that Terry and I collectively are intellectually outmatched.
That is so sweet. But both of you are my mentors, so.
You know, normally I would introduce all of my female guest speakers first, but I didn't want you guys to feel bad after I read her credentials. But Ed, thanks for pointing that out just right up front.
Hey, I was feeling bad. How about all those accolades of these two? And you know what? If you get to the Ambassador Diamond or Ambassador Triple Diamond, that's pretty awesome. So
that is pretty awesome. Absolutely. We want to congratulate all of you for everything that you have achieved here at ASEA. You know, I'd love to start out by letting you guys take just a couple of minutes and share a little bit about your personal and professional backgrounds. So Maureen, why don't we start with you?
Sure. Thank you so much for having me on the call. This is a great honor, especially being on not only with you, Karen, who I just adore, but with these guys as well. And actually, Terry Latham is the person who introduced me to this company 7.5 years ago. Now, it's interesting. I was with another company. I had used their products. It was a wellness company. I had used their products in my clinic. I had an integrative clinic, pain management clinic at UTMB here in Galveston, Texas. And I was looking for something other than just another procedure, another pill to be able to help my patients with. And so I was using these Japanese wellness products. And I went on during that journey to get certified in acupuncture, as well as was using Mind Body, things like that. Our hospital got shut down, and I went full-time into wellness at that time after we had a hurricane here. I had taken a leave of absence and just went full-time into that company, but it was not very successful. So I left that company and had gone back into training, as you mentioned, for age management medicine. And I had a conversation with Terry because he left that company too, but he was highly successful there. I knew why I left, but I didn't know why he did. And he said, I don't know what to tell you. I've come across something that's a breakthrough. People are having amazing results. And when he told me what it was and that it was made from salt water, I have to tell you, I was like, oh, usually I would bite, but I was like, that doesn't sound right. And, you know, I live on the Gulf Coast. I'm surrounded by salt water. I don't need to order it from a company. But the science became compelling. I'd never heard of redox signaling molecules. So I looked into it. And what Terry didn't know is that my husband, who's also a physician, he's a pediatric anesthesiologist and stem cell researcher, had a very big health challenge at the time. He had already been treated. He was through it. He survived a life-threatening illness, but the treatment itself left him extremely compromised. And so Terry had sent me to a site where I saw some of the studies that were done on athletes and looked at the videos. And that was my husband's problem, was oxygenation. So I knew it was non-toxic. I didn't really understand the science behind it. Although I went to PubMed.gov, like so many people do, and saw that there were 6,000 at that time, 6,000 references to it. And interestingly enough, found out from my sister, who's a medical editor at my medical school, that they had just received a $10.5 million COBRA grant to study redox signaling in the body. And I was like, wow. So the more I dug into it, the more interested I became. Went ahead, ordered the product, and got my husband started on it. It was not a fast overnight, one of those miraculous results, but over the course of a few months' time, he was able to come off of the oxygen that he required to even watch TV and got his health back. And I had finished my training in age management, and I said to my husband, I don't know too many people who can afford concierge medicine, 15, 20,000 a year, but I know a ton of people, just about everybody I know can afford a couple $100 a month if they value their health and they really want to take control. And so that's what I did. That was 7 years ago. And now, impacted thousands of people all over the world. It's been a blessing and a joy. And so I'm so thankful for you and for Vertus and Tyler.
You're muted, Karen.
You.
Of course I'm muted. And thank you, Maureen. I figured that everybody could just read my lips. Thank you, Maureen, for sharing that. We're so grateful to you as well for your influence and all of the contributions that you have made to ASEA over these years. We would be a very different company without you. For those of you who have been part of ASEA, Maureen is a familiar face. She is one of the doctors featured on our very popular Redox breakthrough video. And in fact, if you were with us last night, you saw that our president, Jaron Webb, rolled out the brand new 13-minute video that is just absolutely fantastic. We made some modifications on the flow of the video. We shortened it, we tightened it up. And I got to tell you, it was like angels singing when I got to see that final cut the other day. And I was just so excited that we got to launch that. So you can watch that video now on the ASEA YouTube channel. Ed, why don't we go to you? Why don't you tell us a little bit about who you are, a little bit about your professional background. You have done so many things, from nonprofits to ministry to, I heard somebody actually thought that you might be an astronaut. I don't know, but I said, well, if he was, it would certainly, it fits the part, but maybe that's not true. Well, so take it away, Ed.
Olympic athlete. I mean, let's just go down the list here. So. Well, thank you, Maureen. It's great to be on with Maureen and Terry, and with you, Karen. You know, Maureen and Terry are just old war horses with me. We were together in a previous life, so it's just great to always be with them. I hope Terry mentions pro golfer when he gets to his accolades and, you know, his resume. You know, I'm a preacher's kid. Grew up in I was a missionary's kid, really, and they're just the ones that are slightly more misbehaved than the preacher's kids at camp. Came about, kind of followed my parents' footsteps for the first 20 years of my career, and then I discovered network marketing. And you know, I realized early on that working in a nonprofit, you know, I watched my parents in that realm. You know, they say in that endeavor that your pay is lousy, but the retirement benefits are out of this world. And some of you will get that tomorrow. But I realized that I wasn't going to be able to fulfill some of the purpose that I felt I was here on the earth for, or some of the dreams that I had, if somebody else was going to set my salary, somebody else would determine what I was worth. And so I discovered network marketing literally when I was in high school. Never heard of a concept where you could, you know, you could recruit somebody to sell a product and earn something off of what they did. I mean, it was just, it was new to me. So I kind of bumped around that industry a little bit for a few years, kind of really hit my stride with a company 20 some years ago. And I've been full-time in the industry ever since. People used to ask me, why did you leave ministry to pursue business? And my response is that I never left it. I just changed the way I get paid to do it. And so now I can do that on my own schedule, on my own time, when and where I want. And, you know, ASEA came along really an interesting chapter of my life. I mean, I'd gone through a pretty tough chapter. I've lost a wife and due to a long illness, and thankfully through my networking connections met Rebecca. And so I'm a transplant from the Pacific Northwest to North Carolina. But I heard about this company 10 years ago. And I'd like to tell you that I was forward thinking enough and astute enough to grasp it. I already told you that Terry and I are intellectually outmatched here. I didn't get it. And I didn't really work hard to get it, but I kind of kept an eye on it from a distance. And it wasn't until over 5 years ago I woke up and realized this was a real deal. And so this has really been, out of my 30 some years in the industry, the most fulfilling, rewarding, not only in a physical sense, but in a financial sense, chapter in that entire life. I'm actually going to do a call, Karen, next week. We got about 8 or 10 long-term networks. I think we're going to have about 300 combined years of experience on this panel in the industry. And I don't know how many millions earned between all of us. And we're going to talk about why this is the company we've always hoped we could find. Yeah. And I think it's going to be a great perspective. But it's just great to be here with you and communicating to the ASEA family worldwide. Thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Thank you, Ed, for everything that you and Rebecca are doing. Terry Latham, why don't you give us a little bit about your background and why you don't have enough money to afford a razor?
Well, that's my excuse. I'm successful because I sponsored Maureen Hayes.
There you go.
She's it's funny. Look, guys, real quick, I have a background in technology. My wife and I were part owners of a software company. That just kind of makes me sound better. But I was exposed to network marketing many times before making the decision to get involved. And And I never liked the way people approached me. They always like taking angles, people hiding behind bushes, or they'd drop a tape on you. They just didn't say, if they'd said, this is hard but worth it, I probably would have joined. Then my dad approached me at the company. My dad was real successful in business in Texas. It caught my attention. My dad had never heard of network marketing. I mean, I always believed in the model. I just didn't understand why people didn't speak it in terms of a business. So I decided to join my dad. Nothing happened fast for me. I mean, I heard people got in and one person made 50 grand their first month. I'm like, I don't know if I might've made a refund of $12 on buying my product. That was like for the first 6 or 7 or 8 months. I was bad. But the thing is, what network marketing gave me was hope. I mean, I was successful in a career outside, but I was not successful by way of being a family man. Or if we'd had children back then, I wouldn't been able to be a dad. I could provide a lifestyle for them, but never be present. And that was something I always wanted. And when we started, I knew one thing, that other people had done it. I knew I was willing to pay the price to do it. And I've always said that what I lack in skill, I can make up in numbers. I was with that company for 12 years. I've been full-time in the industry for 17 years. Like Ed and Maureen, I heard about ASEA, and I heard it's redox signaling molecule, salt water from Salt Lake City. Didn't make fun of it, but I didn't know if they had a patent from the Great Salt Lake or what. I really didn't. And you know what, truly, and people said, what caught your attention? I said, redox signaling molecule, salt water from Salt Lake City. And people are making money. And so we joined, and it's just been a fantastic ride. And yeah, I mean, this is great stuff. And I always like to tell them, you'll never see anything. I don't believe, I shouldn't say never, we'll never be in a place like we are right now. And I'm not talking about what the global thing we're going through. I'm just talking about this company. See, this is just truly amazing where we are.
Yeah.
I totally agree. Now that we have shared a little bit about who each of you are with our audience, I am going to leverage some technology that is provided by Zoom, and I've created some polling questions so that we get to know who our audience is tonight, so that we make sure that we hit on all of the right questions and that we understand a little bit about who's watching us live tonight. So this first question is very simple. It's, are you an ASEA associate or customer? So if you are watching us tonight, go ahead and check out that poll that has just been posted. We're going to leave that up for just a couple more seconds here. We've almost maxed out this line, so we might need to just wait a minute or two for all of these questions to get answered. But the reason that we want to get to know who you are is because we're going to be sharing some information with you tonight. And again, we want to make sure that we are hitting on all of the important pieces that you have come here to learn about ASEA and learn about this new world that we're kind of all getting used to and kind of managing with. Of course, we all feel like it's a temporary space for us to all be at home right now, but make no mistake, everything that's happening right now is going to have a consequence to it. And whether that consequence is a positive or negative, of course, we don't know. But I'm excited to let you know, as our panelists tonight, that the poll has finished, and we are, most of the people on the call tonight are associates. We've got a couple of % of folks who are not associates. So tonight what we want to talk about is reestablishing the concept of what it really means to have some income immunity. Because I don't know about you, but I know there are members of my immediate family, there are members of my neighborhood community, there are members of my social community, there are people very, very close to me in my life, and they are struggling. They are either laid off permanently, they have been temporarily furloughed, they have been sent home with pay or without pay. But make no mistake, everybody is now talking about generating additional revenue for themselves and their families. And it's a very, very real world that we're kind of living in right now. When I was doing a little bit of online research, I found some interesting facts. And it really put it into perspective for me. So half of American workers right now are making under $50,000 a year. 3 in 10 adults have no emergency savings at all. 1 in 4 families making, now this was what caught my attention, 1 in 4 families making $150,000 a year are still living paycheck to paycheck. I think it's easy to make assumptions when you start thinking about 6-figure earners that, you know, they don't have to live paycheck to paycheck. But this poll actually said that 1 in 4 families that are making over $150,000 a year are still living paycheck to paycheck. And here was something interesting that I found. If you live in New York or San Francisco, places that have these really, really high living conditions economically, even if you make $300,000 to $350,000 a year, you're still considered lower middle class. We've seen our jobless rate skyrocket, thousands and multiple thousands of % increases over the last 4 weeks. I think the last number that I saw was 22 million new unemployment filings in the last 5 weeks. Now, I don't say this for doom and gloom purposes, but again, that's what we're here to talk about tonight, because people have to start thinking about additional revenue income streams. And one of the things that we want to talk about tonight are the things that you should be looking for and you should feel great about partnering with a company like ASEA. So Maureen, I want to start actually with you, because I think as I share those numbers, it's really easy for someone to feel like, well, chief of anesthesiology, double board certified, you know, they must have had all the money in the world, no problems economically, but that's just one piece of the puzzle for you. Why did you step away from traditional medicine, traditional medical work to become a full-time professional network marketer?
You know, thank you. That's a great question. And honestly, for me, I was at a crossroads. You know, I had had all the success in medicine. As you said, at one hospital, I was chief of the anesthesia, a lot of accolades, you know, married to another anesthesiologist. We had all the trappings of success. At that time, we were living up in Cambridge, Massachusetts, not far, just down the road from Harvard, where my husband had gotten his degree. But you know what? We made a lot of money. It went into our accounts and it went back out just as quickly again to pay for all of the trappings so that we could get up every morning and go to work. And, you know, it hurt my heart when I heard Terry talking about, you know, being a parent, because that was where I failed. I had a young son, and you know, I really never saw him. I would take him in his pajamas and drop him off with a babysitter early in the morning. She would get him dressed, take him to school, and then she would pick him up. And whatever time I got home from the hospital, and sometimes it wasn't until 10 o'clock or later at night, you know, and he'd already be asleep back in his jammies. And that's how he grew up. And so when I was first contacted about network marketing, I was very arrogant. I like to say arrogant and ignorant. And the gentleman, it was another doctor, came in to talk to me about it in my office. And I sat there and he was drawing these circles and sticks. I had no idea what was going on. And I literally walked him out to the hallway so he could read my name on the door. You know, now I was miserable. Right?
Y'all.
just to know, you know, and so I joined that. I ended up joining that company, and I was a horrible failure. You know, I was part of the NFL, no friends left. People would see me calling and they'd be like, "What's she doing now?" You know, that was my first foray into network marketing. And then, of course, later I learned about the company. But one of the things that I always, it was a combination of, especially as a pain physician, feeling like I needed to do better by my patients, not just take somebody with a medical problem and then make them a drug addict on top of it, which is a lot of what happens. And you all know about the opioid crisis now. So I didn't feel good about that. I didn't feel good about my job as a mom. I didn't see my kid grow up. And when I left that job and took the leave of absence with the other company and went full-time into wellness, it was a dream come true for me, because for the first time I could be a homeroom mom, and, you know, I could surprise my kid at school with cupcakes and stuff. Now, it was a nightmare for him because he was in high school, right? He was like, "Please stop bringing cupcakes to my school." But his friends lived. But, you know, So I did. When he went to college, I went back into training with every idea that I was going to go back into practice until I found ASEA. And what really did it for me was when I went to the training, there was a long training beforehand that was all book training and video training. And then we went to Las Vegas for hands-on training. And it was a week long. And the first 4 days was what we call didactic training, where we were talking about patients and how we were going to treat them. The last 3 days was how to sell our patients on this extremely expensive program. And I thought, oh my gosh, now I was already part of ASEA, but I had told Terry Latham, look, I'm a horrible network marketer. I am not going to any meetings. I don't want to learn the secret handshake. Just leave me alone. But I'm listening to this training and I'm thinking, and they're saying, if you do this and you bring in these patients, you can be a millionaire, have, you know, $1 million to a $5 million practice in 3 to 5 years. And I was like, wow, I bet you probably could. But you know what? I think you can make a great income by helping a lot of people have a better quality of health. And I thought, you know what, I'm going with that plan. And that's what I did. That's when I went full-time into ASEA and made it my mission. So it was all roads lead to ASEA.
We are all very grateful. And I think it's absolutely overlooked that this industry offers such a significant and substantial opportunity to develop as a person, to develop other people, to develop leadership skills, to really hone in on your personal skill set as well as your leadership skill set. You know, I was looking around again doing some research, and the question that popped into my mind was, okay, so if somebody doesn't want to do network marketing, what are today's most searched profitable small businesses? So right now we've got all kinds of people at home looking for opportunities to have income immunity. And here's what I found. So Maureen, you're in this position of, you know, highly educated, highly rewarded financially, but no time, no family, no outside life on that. Here's what was on the 20 most profitable small business list right now. Cleaning services, online tutor, I'm out. Mobile hairdresser, maybe. Courier services, business consulting, website design, catering services, tax preparation and bookkeeping, homemade crafts, home-based childcare, life coach, and medical transcriptionist. That is what is currently out there on the internet as the 20 most profitable small businesses to start today. And I looked through that list and I thought, I really could not do any of those. And even the ones that I might be able to do, just given my personal background as a hairdresser from 100 years ago, number one, I had to go to school for that. Number two, that school cost thousands and thousands of dollars. Number three, there's a significant cost in equipment and products that I would have to have with me all of the time. And I went through this list and I said, I don't have any skills in website design, catering service. I have a kitchen because it came with the house, and math is hard. So Ed, I'd actually like to turn this conversation your direction. You know, as you hear that list, and I happen to know some of the profit that your business has brought in over the years. And I happen to know about a beautiful home that you have purchased. And I happen to know about a lifestyle that you and your wife enjoy. When you hear that this is the list of top most profitable small businesses right now, what are some of your thoughts when you think about what you're doing in a network marketing space that just blows the doors off of that kind of a list?
Well, you know, first of all, Rebecca and I are just extremely humbled and grateful for what we have been blessed with. I mean, it is work, it's hard work, and we don't shy away from that. I kind of bought into what I learned from Jim Rohn years ago. You know, don't ask for the mountain to be easier to climb, just seek to be a better climber. And, you know, I look down at the street below us here on the 4th floor, and my heart goes out to these shop owners and restaurateurs. You know, I know some of them, and their shops are shuttered, and some of them are probably not going to reopen. And I think, you know, I think the challenge in trying to get network marketing accepted is sometimes the way it's packaged. I think if it could ever really be properly packaged, who could turn it down? I mean, if it was described really the way it truly is, and I think sometimes, you know, if you ever go to the refrigerator and get a glass of orange juice and all you can taste is the can, you're probably not going to like the orange juice. And I think sometimes what we present to the world tastes too much like the can, and we don't really let the product for what this really is speak for us. I've studied this industry. I've watched it from the front row for a long time. I've studied it, and I tell you, people out there today I think they're desperately praying for two things, headline things. They're all looking for better physical immunity. They don't know about our product, but they're looking for, praying for what we know our product can help with. They're looking for, as you mentioned earlier, financial immunity. And there is not a model, in my opinion, that can provide that like network marketing can. It just can. I mean, we almost, you know, I guess if you're sometimes when you're rooted in your faith, you're motivated by guilt. At least you got to experience guilt once in a while. You almost feel guilty that we're having the best month ever in March in the midst of all of this. But you know, truthfully, think about it. There's a silver cloud to every dark storm. I mean, hey, Terry, where you live in Texas and Maureen, I have a nephew that's a roofing contractor. When a big hailstorm comes through there, it's devastating for some. It's heyday for them. You know, the people who do auto body repair when a hailstorm comes along and dings the cars, tree repair people. I mean, you know, so every storm has a silver lining. We just happen to be in an industry that has an absolutely brilliant silver lining all the time, and right now especially. And yeah, I'm thankful. I'm thankful that I finally got it with this company, and I'm thankful that you know, this product has helped, I think, save my wife's life. So we'll never have a testimonial in our world that'll top what Rebecca's experienced, and we just feel extremely grateful to be insulated from the financial woes right now. That, you know, obviously you can be broke at any level. You know, you mentioned some income earlier. I mean, if you're making 200 grand, you're spending 250 a year, then you're just broke at a higher level. So there's obviously some stewardship, and that's a principle that, to me, Karen, really, I think I try to drive home with people. We become stewards responsible for the knowledge that we are exposed to. And so I approach this business today from a standpoint of stewardship. I mean, you can't know about this and not assume some level of responsibility for passing that on. I mean, I've got my own personal story about when Vertus said we're at the beginning of something big that can change the world, and he kind of gestured to the audience here, take this company where it needs to go. I have a whole story about what that triggered in my mind at that moment. But we have a responsibility with this company. You know, it's the old law of the desert. If you find water in the desert, you have a responsibility to share with the other travelers. And we're blessed here. We're very, very blessed. And there's a world out there that needs what we have. They just don't know about us. They don't know we exist. So I don't know if I answered your question or not, but I got a few thoughts out there. So you're muted again, Karen.
Yeah, absolutely you did, Ed. I appreciate that. No, that's wonderful. Terry, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this subject as it relates to when you hear that list of the top 20 current Google searches for start a small business, right? Because that's what everyone is going to the internet to. How do I start a small business? What should I be doing right now? How do I make fast income? You know, when I went to just some of the web browsers, you know, and said, you know, home-based business ideas, just something that simple. And you hear things like dog walking, rent out your home, rent out your car, invest in real estate, meal planning, house cleaning, those kinds of things. I mean, sure, absolutely, those are all possibilities, and they're very low barriers of entry, right? I mean, if you can walk a dog, you can be a dog walker. But I'd love for you to share a little bit, because of your experience in traditional business. You were very, very successful in the software world, in the sales world, but there's a different kind of hustle that comes with what you did before, which is you eat what you kill, right? So when you think about a list of opportunities that people might be considering today to start a home-based business with what they offer as compensation, which is If you get in a car and drive for Uber, you make, some money there, but it's not residual and you're not in a position of leverage. So can you take a minute and share why network marketing is so powerful and so overlooked as a home-based business in the respect of residual and leveraged income?
It's funny when we all do our presentations, and I've done many of them, and I've caught myself at times in a room where I want to sit down and say, why don't you present me your job? And it's because here's the thing. Let's say I'm a vice president of XYZ. I don't want to nail out any profession. We tend to buy into our title. And then we buy into this facade because I try to, when we get our degrees, or whether or not we get out of high school, what have you, we go to working to get things, which is a joy. Get a new car, get a new house. And then we become enslaved to the stuff and we work to keep things, and that causes stress. And it's a never-ending cycle where the stress causes sickness and so forth and so on. And here's where we are. It's funny. I was sitting there talking to somebody, and I always like to find out from them, because they say, and one thing you did say also, Karen, how can I make income now? Here's the thing. They better start thinking now for the future, because you're not going to hit the button and get a block of cheese right now. So I was talking to somebody the other day. I said, how long is your runway? And let's say he's making $10,000 a month. I said, how long is your runway? He said, 90 days. And I said, okay. So if I could show you how to make $2,000 this month, and then maybe $3,000 next month, I'm not going to, because what we tend to do is I've got to make $10,000 this month. Then the next thing I said, well, how much are your bills? And let's say it's $5,000. So I backtracked that a little bit to get them thinking just a little bit further out about business terms, not rope-a-dope into something, not lottery ticket type stuff, because we've all busted our tail in this business. I think what people get lost in network marketing, they think it's net miracle marketing. They don't think it's work. They don't think we bust our tail. They don't think people said no to us. It took me a long time for me personally, get my network marketing career off the ground. I outworked anybody and everybody. I just didn't produce. I was bad, but I'm pretty good today. But why? Because I didn't just go to a book and read it. We applied what we learned. And we took the arrows in the back when people said, aren't you a VP of what? And looked down their nose because they think they're all high and mighty because their title. Well, how's it? And I don't want to say, look, and I'm sorry if I feel like I'm being a little bit direct on certain things, but I think sometimes we need a little bit more direct with people, because guys, it's kind of, somebody that's also telling me, said, I've got some of these, my friends kind of poking fun of me or what have you, not me. And it's happened, but you kind of say, okay, let me ask you a question. What's your plan? Because apparently you're saying something. You must have a plan that I need to follow. And so I think it's you, Ed, that said that it might not be the best way, but it's a way for some. And I think more and more people today are starting to realize you have to do something now and really get forward. So if you start to look at this and break it down as a business, so you need to cover your bills $5,000 a month. If you're able to make additional $2,000 your first month, we gave your runway a little bit further out. And then you start to build towards that. Don't get so caught on the fact you got to make it right now. Build a business. Go out there and get this stuff done. If you treat this like a real business, you get real pay. I hope I answered your question. I'm kind of like Ed. I went down a different trail. Sorry.
No, that's great. What came to mind when you were sharing that is, people can jump in a car. Again, they can rent out a room in their home. They can do the Airbnb, they can do the Uber, they can do the dog walking, they can do that. Those are all very, very low barrier to entry opportunities, but they are money now. And again, when I look at the ASEA compensation program, we have that money now opportunity, right? So you get the best of both worlds, because when you bring somebody into the organization, whether at a customer level or an associate level, there's an income that's generated right then, right? And you're paid a week later. So that money is coming in now. It's interesting when I look.
What all of those jobs, Karen, are missing is the concept of leverage.
There you go. Talk a little bit about leverage, Ed.
Well, I mean, that's what our industry offers is leverage. I mean, if you're trading time, if you're on a trading time for money, I don't care what the dollar amount is, if it's hourly, weekly, monthly, annually, if you're trading time for money, you're just not leveraged. And it can be, you know, it can be a lot of money. I mean, you might have, if you, let's say you're a dentist, you could be the fastest dentist in the country, where you're going from room to room and just shooting fillings and whatever. You're eventually going to only be able to see so many people a day. You're maxed out. And the only way to leverage that into more income is to add on staff, build another bigger facility, and then you got all the headaches of people management and all of that. Our industry offers leverage like I've never seen. I've been in, you know, driving through Texas where these folks live. You see these oil wells that are just, you know, they're pumping day and night, just pumping. You know, somebody's picking residual income up off of that. But never does one of those oil wells duplicate itself where there's two wells where there was one. And in this business, I mean, literally, new wells pop up, more new wells the next day. And eventually you may have hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of oil wells that are all kind of part of your oil field. And so it's not just residual income. I love the concept of residual income. It's reproductive residual income. And that's a powerful, powerful aspect of this. And, you know, there's nothing that I know of offers leverage. I mean, I don't care if you're a professional athlete, you better make it while you're playing, because if, you know, you're a broken bone away from the end of a career. You know, I've talked to medical people. I mean, they're a broken wrist, a skiing accident away from the end of a career. So
a blown out knee, a concussion that goes wrong,
leverage is a powerful principle here that makes this business tick. And yeah, nothing offers it like network marketing. Nothing.
Yeah, for sure. I'd like to take a minute and just do another quick poll. I've got a few questions that I want to get out to our audience today. And again, this is totally anonymous, so don't feel like there's any personal identification in here. But I am interested to learn this question. Right now, are you living paycheck to paycheck? Are you one of those 1 in 4 families, those 30% of Americans, those, you know, 3 out of 10 families that are living paycheck to paycheck? And this is just to get a little bit more of a sense of how, you know, we as an organization are a solution to living paycheck to paycheck, because just like Terry and Ed and Maureen have already stated, ASEA is the solution. And I remember saying that for the first time years and years and years ago. We were in a room with Tyler and Vertus actually, and we were talking about ASEA as the solution, and all of a sudden it dawned on us, right? ASEA as the solution, right? The salt water from Salt Lake City solution turns into ASEA as the organization as a solution as well. So I'm just going to close out this poll in probably another, you know, 10, 15 seconds. So if it's popped up and you haven't answered, go ahead and just click yes or no. Are you currently living paycheck to paycheck? And I wanted to share with our guests tonight that so far, with about 70% of those on the line having voted, we are a 60-40 split. So 60% of the folks on the phone tonight are listening, are living paycheck to paycheck. Go ahead.
Does that factor in a truth factor? A truth and answering factor come in there someplace?
What was that? What was that?
Does an honesty factor somehow calculate into that poll?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's interesting because Ed was talking about dentists, and I have a number of dentists on my team, and during this time, their businesses were shuttered. So imagine, you know, they always talk about having a plan B because of broken wrists or some sort of injury like that, but never would they have thought with a signature from a governor that they would be shut down like they have been during this pandemic. And, you know, in fact, we just did a 4-part series kind of addressing this, because it's not just dentists that happened overnight for them, but so many people right now have no way to get a paycheck. And to hear one of my dentists say, you know, how am I supposed to pay my bills? Mow lawns, you know, and we teach people about digging your well before you're thirsty. Mm-hmm. And it's incredible. This is an incredible opportunity to help people get that immediate income and build the residual income as well.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, one of the things that was really interesting during the research part of this call for me was when I realized that when you look up all of these these small home businesses, right? The home handmade crafts, the childcare, the business consulting, the website design. Nowhere in any of that research did it talk about when you're starting a business, what you should look for in starting that business. Like, what should you be prepared for? What kind of skills should you have? What should the platform look like? And in comparison, when I went to look for what are the most important things to look for when you partner with a network marketing organization, here's what I found. Number one, has the company been around 5 or more years? Is the company well capitalized? Does the company offer products and services that are unique? Is there a genuine need for the products and services? Can you generate immediate income? Does the marketing system take full advantage of the technology of today? Is the person who introduced you to the opportunity committed to your success? Is there a way to build your business part-time without losing your full-time income? And I loved this one. This was my favorite. Will you have fun? You know, and so I read that list of what you should look for in a network marketing company. And then I went back to that list of the top 10, the top 20 things that are small based and profitable home businesses right now. And I couldn't help but think about the fact that when you join a network marketing company, you have an immediate set of resources available to you, both on a technology front and a human capital front, that surround you with success, give you the roadmap. I'd love to have Terry, if you would share a little bit about why ASEA has become, after 10 years, positioned for legacy, positioned for long-term success, positioned to do all of these things that people are looking for. Unique products, we're always going to guarantee you get paid. Look, if you take somebody's dog for a walk and you don't get that money up front, you might not get paid. But if you get somebody involved with ASEA, you're always going to get paid. That was just one example. So Terry, tell us a little bit about why that list of 10 things is so important and why you're so excited about the future for ASEA.
Can you repeat those 10 real fast? So no, real quick. You know, most people, I'm taking probably most of the people are associates that are part of this, or there might be some guests on tonight. There was an address by our executive and our founder, but, you know, from Tyler Norton, Jerem Webb, our president, Tyler Norton being our founder, Jerem Webb, our president, and Chuck Funky, our CEO. And it was right after this started to happen, and when there was a lot of fear and uncertainty, and people wondering, and of course, the question always comes back, will the products be here? And we're talking about ASEA, will they shut the doors? I mean, they're all fear. And when they came on, and look, guys, as leaders, we know, you know, we're around it. We know about the company and everything else. But I got to tell you, in this space, when we as network marketers are people, I just include everybody, people who are chasing a dream. We want to make sure that once we start to build a dream, somebody's not going to yank the rug out from under us, that they have their own agenda. And I got to tell you, guys, and if you have not seen that video, even if you're a guest tonight, you need to take 10 minutes and go watch that thing, because to hear them talk, they say, we have everything here. We're all good. We're in cash. I'm going, how can you have the foresight? Now, I know to prepare for the future and everything else, but to be, and during this time of uncertainty, to bring, I was blown away, guys. And I know I could hit a lot of different things. I don't want to take a lot of time, but that one piece right there did everything for me, because I came to this company, build this for my family. That's it. So I'm good.
You know, I had a chance to introduce both Chuck and Jerem on Zoom calls in the last couple of weeks. And I've just expressed what I think we all feel. It's such a relief to those of us in the field to know that people like them, like you, Karen, are at the helm of the company running the show there. It is so, I know what it's like. These folks know what it's like to not have that kind of confidence in a company. And you know, you can bring all the enthusiasm and all the work ethic in the field to the game, but if the company's not doing what only the company can do, it's concerning, very concerning. And to have the leadership team at the home office that we have, it is so liberating and so empowering to us in the field that it's just, if you're new to network marketing, just know this is a rarity. It's a rarity. And if you're looking at this as a guest, I can promise you that and I'm going to get you a list, Karen, because I've got a list of 12 things. I'm going to be going through my list, and I'm going to add some things to it with the folks I'm going to be on this panel next week and talking about the rarity of finding this company. I love what Mal Soar says. He says, we'll never see this again in our lifetime. Well, this is a rarity, and just know that, appreciate that. You can go look all you want. You're not going to find any company that has everything going for it the way this company has, especially now with 10 years of leadership in the field, 10 years of track record. There's a lot of network marketers that kind of blew this off early on. They're coming back around saying, you guys are still here 10 years later, and you got people earning, earning $1 million bucks. You got people earning $1 million a year. You got $10 million earners. I must have missed something. They're coming back around. Watched us, I posted today that we've gone from 70 something last year to 44th now in network marketing. So this is just a rare combination. Here's what I tell new people. And if you happen to be a guest or somebody checking ASEA out, looking at this, here's what we can assure you. We will bring to the table of our combined efforts, we're going to bring a company that you'll never find again. We're going to bring a product that's absolutely without peer, without competition. We're going to bring leadership in the field that's developed a tremendous array of tools for you to leverage for your success. What we cannot bring to the table that only you can bring is your desire factor, your ambition, and your names, your contacts. If you'll bring what you can bring, we'll bring what we can bring to the table. And together, it's a no-lose situation, no-lose situation. And I just hope people can recognize how unusual this is. This is, I'm at the age where Vertus was when he was getting ready to launch this company. And a lot of folks in my age group are concerned because they worked 30, 40 years and don't have what they thought they were going to have. And I'm saying this is a way you can make up in short order for what maybe 30, 40 years of a career didn't deliver to you. If you'll just muster up the energy to give this one good shot. This is the last company you'll ever have to build. I'm absolutely convinced of that. I don't want to do this again. Terry, you don't want to do it again, and you're way younger than I am. So this is it. This is I just hope that people realize. I teach my kids. I ask my grandkids all the time, "Hey, how tall can a tree grow?" And they kind of look. They're kind of puzzled, and I kind of tell them it can grow as tall. It'll grow as tall as it can. And I just tell all of you listening to this: if you have the ability, and this comp plan has the ability to help you grow to every rank that you've heard here tonight, and the ranks that are beyond where we are, you have a responsibility to grow as tall as you can. Don't settle for silver if you can be gold. Don't settle for platinum if you can be diamond. None of us are settling. And I watched this company invent new levels to accommodate the drive that people already had that were at triple diamond. So if you're listening to this tonight, whenever, you have a responsibility to grow as tall as you can grow, as big as you can. Listen, God's not impressed with how much money you have. I love what Zig Ziglar said. He says, money's not everything, but it ranks right up there with oxygen. And we have a long list of charities, starting with our Advancing Life Foundation that can take every extra dime that you don't need, channel up there, it goes good places. So don't be afraid of embracing this at a high level, because this comp plan will deliver at a high level.
Yeah, absolutely.
And amen on that.
Amen, Ed. Yeah, I appreciate you bringing up the Advancing Life Foundation. I hope that everyone has had a chance to check out their email. And I'll just put in a big plug right here for our ALF team. We have just partnered.
People may not know that they can do an auto ship. They can do an auto ship contribution to the foundation. People may not know that.
Yeah, and let me put into perspective what a small donation can do right now. A $1 donation, a $5 donation. We've just partnered with Feeding America, and we have committed to 110,000 meals to be paid for by the Advancing Life Foundation. $1 can create 11 meals. $1 with all of their resources can create 11 meals. When you think about what's happening right now with people going hungry, children not going to school and getting the meals that they used to get at breakfast and lunch, families out of work, this is a big deal. And a very little donation from you can go a very long way. Every single dollar contributed by the employees and the associates and friends and family of the associates, every single dollar brought into the Advancing Life Foundation is matched at 100% by ASEA Corporation. So we have some really big needs out there in our communities right now, and I'm grateful to be part of an organization that has a program like the Advancing Life Foundation that for a very, very small donation can do a very big, can fill a very big need for us. So Ed, I appreciate you bringing that up. Maureen, we're gonna close out our time here, but before we do, I'd love to give you an opportunity to address our group, because right now, everyone, I mean, we've just done a poll that, you know, most of the people on this call are associates. More than half of the people on this call are living paycheck to paycheck, regardless of what that paycheck is. They're living paycheck to paycheck, and we're all living in this new temporary economy, this new temporary work environment. And ASEA has met or exceeded that list of top 10 things that we should all be looking for in an organization. So what would you share to our audience tonight about the income immunity that ASEA has to offer and what they should be doing to protect their income during this immune crisis?
Like I said before, you want to dig your well before you're thirsty. Now, you may have, you're living paycheck to paycheck right now, or maybe not even getting a paycheck. But this is the perfect time. It's a perfect storm. People are looking for ways to better their health right now. And we have something very unique that helps every other thing that you do good for your body have a bigger impact. And so people need to know about this product. You've got a gift to share with people, a gift for humanity, a gift that is right for the times that we have right now. And by sharing this and by helping people with their wellness, with their immune status, you can make an income as well. So it's a double whammy. So this is the perfect time to get involved. Get in, make that immediate income. We can help you with that. Build that residual so that the next time this happens for you, you have a paycheck coming in every Thursday and you don't have to worry about it. It is such an incredible blessing. And one other thing, you mentioned fun, and we all get a lot of joy out of this, but I think all of us, all four of us on this call are big travelers, and we love to get together and we love to spend time with each other and do fun things. And a lot of our trips, our reward trips and all, have been canceled because of what's going on, but I'm holding out hope that we'll be able to go to our convention. It's going to be in Anaheim in September, and that's one of my favorite places. So we do have a lot of fun in ASEA. So please come join us. We'd love to have you.
I love it. Thanks, Maureen. Terry, I'm going to let you kind of close out our interview session tonight. I want to, of course, thank Ed Weens and Dr. Maureen Hayes and you, Terry, for being with us tonight. But I want to thank everyone for jumping on this call to learn a little bit more on how to approach the current situation, right? I want to thank you for pulling out some of these incredible gems that each one of these leaders has shared with you, because I think what I hear over and over again is that we're all home, we're all getting used to, we're all thriving in this new work from home environment. There's been a lot of activity. Like Ed said, March was our biggest month in history. In 10 years, March was the biggest month in history. And ironically, what we see is, you know, people are still looking for a way to get around the conversation of network marketing or social selling or social commerce, or, you know, whatever relationship marketing, whatever people are going to want to call it today. But Terry, from your experience, you know, I know you and your wife, Erin, have always been home with your family. you've had successful traditional businesses, take a few minutes and just close out our call tonight with the power of what this industry really offers to people who get engaged.
So yeah, thanks, Karen, and thanks for letting me be on the screen with Ed and Maureen. I've always had the utmost respect for both of them, especially Maureen because she's in my group. But anyway, so I was doing a call with a group this morning, and they're a group of associates. And if you're not an associate, I just want you to play for a second like you are, and you understand what we have our hands on, and do your due diligence deeper. So I was talking to everybody on call because there's been medical calls this week, and there's always a lot of people seeking validation and stuff. So my question was this: do you believe that what we have our hands on our product is a massive breakthrough, that there's zero competition? And I said, after what we've seen with our leadership, with our CEO, our president, and our founder, do you believe we have the right leadership at the helm? Do you believe we have the best time to build this business? And of course, and everybody's going, yes, yes, yes. So, and this is what I could tell everybody watching. The answer is the person in the mirror. The question comes back, are we willing to put forth the effort to achieve our dreams? Because we sit back a lot and we sit in a fear base, and don't let ever fear rule you, but we sit in a fear base, not even, and if we understand with what we have our hands on, if you're willing to pay the price and reach out to people, just a few new people every single day, you can absolutely make this happen. And guys, and sometimes you almost get caught up in the emotion behind it, because guys, I promise you this, if you do that, you'll win here. And another thing, as just final, because I know we're just closing that out. If you don't break the cycle, who will? You know, Ed said it, and Maureen said it, and Karen said it, and Ed was talking about Mao. We'll never see something like this again. So don't take this for granted, and you have a chance to set the future generations of your families free right now. So, Karen, thanks for having me. You're muted.
Thank you, Terry. Those are great words for us to end on. Again, a big thank you to our guests tonight, Terry and Ed and Maureen. A huge gratitude, thanks to you for joining us tonight. I hope that there has been some information shared with you that you can share with others to get them engaged with this. Take action today. There's never been a better time to be part of this organization. The company is solid, your leadership is solid, your field leadership is solid, our distribution and supply chains are solid, the company's financial position is solid. The only thing that needs to change right now is the amount of activity that each and every one of us are doing to move this incredible mission and vision forward faster during this absolutely unique, once in a lifetime opportunity. So until we get together again, I hope we see you all tomorrow at 11 a.m. Mountain Time with Tyler sharing the ethos. But until we see you again, stay awesome, ASEA, stay well, and we'll see you next time.